Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm kind of between big project updates at the moment. The layout has a pretty big scenery update that I'm looking forward to being able to share with you maybe in a week or two. The T-Track module I'm fast at work at as well, which means I'm kind of in a lull for content. But something came across my desk, so to speak, that I'm really excited to share with you guys. See, as a somewhat of a Norfolk Southern modeler, there is a locomotive that I've been needing for a really, really long time, and one of the manufacturers has finally released it. I've got a box here from Scale Trains, and in it contains a Norfolk Southern locomotive that I've been looking forward to for quite a while. So, in today's video, I'm excited to take you guys through the unboxing process, throw it down on the layout, and put it through its paces and get it tested out. So, let's get over to the workbench and we'll get it unboxed. All right, so let's tear into this thing, shall we? Now, full disclosure, for some reason, my audio didn't capture when I recorded this video, so I am doing a voiceover, but I'll do my best to recreate my initial reactions to this locomotive. You get into what is pretty much a standard Scale Trains box. Nothing fancy here. This isn't one of their CSX Heritage units or NS Heritage units, anything of that sort. So pretty boilerplate box, and there is the locomotive on the side, an X-Conrail SD40-2 number 3379 in the Norfolk Southern Thoroughbred paint scheme. Now, I've got to do a little bit of research because I don't remember, but this locomotive did actually traverse the Corning Secondary, which is the portion of the Norfolk Southern that I model on local HO6. But I don't remember if it had this Thoroughbred paint scheme or if it was in Horsehead at that point. So I might have a little bit of work to do in order to get this to be the correct appearance for my modeling era of 2013 to 2015. Now, for some reason, this plastic sleeve was really on there super tight. Tighter than I've ever seen clamshell packaging for some reason. Took me just a second to get it pulled apart. Once we've got the clamshell open, though, I did notice that for some reason the rear step on this thing is yellow. Never seen that before. It does have these little stabilizers underneath all of the wheels, and I did also appreciate that Scale Trains is now doing the painted wheels on all of their locomotives. Makes it super easy to get these things weathered. Kind of tough to see in this lighting, though, that's for sure. As we pull out the foam, you'll notice, of course, that this is in the Thoroughbred paint scheme. The older of the two Norfolk Southern paint schemes that X-Conrail units could be wearing. Initial reactions to this locomotive, pretty impressed with the level of detail here. Really excited about the pilot mount ditch lights and all of that, as that's something that's been desperately needed in HO scale for quite a while. Highly detailed X-Conrail model. And these are really common locomotives on Norfolk Southern HO6, so I had to pick up at least one. We've had an X-Conrail SD40-2 stationed in Gang Mills for quite some time. But anyway, with the unboxing out of the way, let's head on over to the layout and we'll get this thing fired up and take it for a test ride. right, so here's my kind of final thoughts on this model. This is, of course, a Scale Trains unit. You're going to get some absolutely fantastic detail out of it, better than you're going to find with a lot of other manufacturers. Although a lot of manufacturers are trying to get to this level of detail, some of them just aren't quite there yet. However, with that being said, there are a few things about this model that have continued to irk me, and I want to go over those with you guys quickly, just so that you're kind of aware. The first thing is that I am immensely disappointed in the fact that on the first run of the Conrail locomotives that had these pilot mount style ditch lights, there was light bleed issues, and Scale Trains had the opportunity to rectify that issue with just a simple extra coat of paint on these new ones, these new Norfolk Southern ex-Conrail units, and they didn't. There is still light bleed on these ditch lights. Now, I've been recommended that you can adjust the brightness on these ditch lights, which certainly you can, but I like to run my ditch lights bright, and I can't run them at max brightness and not have light bleed, which is very disappointing when all it's going to take is a single coat of extra paint in order to rectify that issue. So I'll be correcting that issue myself with an extra coat of paint, time permitting, but that's one thing that really feels like it should have been fixed from the factory, especially when I know for a fact they got feedback on it because I provided it. Second thing is the horn. This horn is immensely disappointing. It looks like it's off of a lifelike locomotive. The bells themselves do not have a cavity for some reason. It is just one giant molded hunk of metal painted black. And I don't really quite understand that, because I've got another Scale Trains SD40-2, an Admiral cab, and you can see the horn on this one is great. It's very finely detailed, and very happy with how that one looks. So it's a little bit baffling that they've somehow reverted back to a worse looking horn. Not sure what happened there, but really it looks toy-like, quite frankly, and is very disappointing. All right, so here is the final thing that absolutely grinds my gears about Scale Trains locomotives. This is now probably, I think, my fourth Scale Trains, actually no, my fifth Scale Trains locomotive. The manual for these says that it has an ESU power pack installed. Now, every single one of my Atlas B23s, I have installed an aftermarket ESU power pack in. Every single one of those works great. I have double checked that the settings on the ESU programmer display that this locomotive should have a functional power pack in it. But this is what happens when I pull it off the layout. The settings are currently set so that the power pack is supposed to bridge power for at least 4 seconds. As you can see, it dropped off immediately. That means that for some reason, and this is a continued issue with every single one of my Scale Trains units, the power pack is not working on NCE. This is a known issue to Scale Trains, and for some reason, they have still done nothing to correct it. I have an ES44AC. I have a old run SD40-2. For some reason, there is an issue with the power packs that are in these Scale Trains units specifically and NCE. I find it baffling that a company that has been manufacturing locomotives for so long would completely turn their backs on half of the client base as far as power packs are concerned. Why is it that everybody that runs an NCE system is supposed to be completely out of luck as far as these power packs are concerned? But anyway, with the ranting out of the way, I do still really love this unit. I'm looking forward to having it on the layout for a very long time. It fills a sorely needed gap in the hobby as far as Conrail SD40-2s are concerned. Scale Trains, of course, does a really good job with detail, but again, seems to have taken a little bit of a step backward here, especially with that horn. So we'll see what they do from here on out. I'm hoping that they continue to step up their game and get back to that mentality of redefining what it means to be a high-quality HO scale locomotive, because quite frankly, this seems like a little bit of a step back to me. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. There's plenty more content to come, not only in locomotive reviews, but also a ton more work here on the layout. We're sitting here in Himrod Yard. This area of the layout is actually undergoing a massive overhaul right now that I can't really let you see much of it, but you're seeing just a little sneak peek right here. So be on the lookout for more updates, especially regarding here in Himrod, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.